Thank you very much for joining our press conference. Our guest is Emo Philips. My name is Chris Kuhl, and I will be your moderator. Let's start off with a word from our guest and a question from the crowd.
Well, I want to thank you very, very much for attending my show at Hilarities, and now I open the floor. Jeremy.
You did British television for a little while. What was that like?
Well, you can't have guns in England. So that, people in America could have guns, and that can't help but rush your timing, But, we should ban guns because they've turned us into a nation of sissies. You go to Scotland, those guys are like drive-by forehead buttings, really. A sweatband is considered a silencer. Yes, yes, hello, you.
Hi, Emo. My question for you is, you did a wonderful setup there, and you're absolutely hilarious, but how long does it usually take you to come up with some of the stuff that you do? Is it just, like, experience, or do you just come up with it?
It's a very good question. You know how, you go to school and you write with chalk? And the chalk is actually the bodies of millions of little dead critters over the years that just have solidified into, chalk, right? So bear with me on this analogy. It's like when you see my show, when you do a joke and it's new, sometimes it bombs, and you got to keep playing with it and trying it on different audiences, sometimes for years till it gets to be working all the time. So when you hear a whole bunch of great jokes in a row, you know that hundreds of audiences have suffered horribly for those jokes in the past. And conversely, if I ever do a joke and it doesn't go over, just don't be mad at me. Just say, well, I'm helping a future crowd.
You've done a lot with Cartoon Network. I was wondering, do you have a rapport with them? I want to know what Space Ghost is really like.
You sit in the studio, and the guy just ad-libs with you, and then they take things totally out of context. So they might as well just have you reciting words at random. But it's a fun show. I've never seen this show.
How was it to do home movies? Because you had a stint on that as well.
Well, home movies is a bit different because you're actually given a script and then you get to ad-lib all you want, and it's a lot of fun. And the guy Brendan Small's but he's a genius. Well, don't say that. No, I don't want to. He'll put that in his resume then. No, but he's a wonderful artist. Okay, Jeremy.
What do you like doing better, movies or commercials or stuff like with Cartoon Network?
Well, movies are always nice. Movies are nicer than commercials because you don't feel like you're a whore. Cartoons are nice to do as well because you don't got to get made up. Commercials are actually very difficult because you have to hold the product up into a very, very specific place at the right time. And it's very difficult to really feel the emotion, with breakfast cereal or whatever. But, it's good training, if you want to be a sniper.
You worked with Weird Al in UHF. Do you feel like you were fairly paid?
Well, yeah. I got a residual for 30 cents, which is pretty much all the film made when it was distributed. But it's had a tremendous life on DVD. And I'm very excited, and I exhort everyone who loves the film, and I know you are legion, to get the DVD because there's extra wonderful raw footage, and I do mean raw. Ben!
The things that you talk about on stage, are those things that have happened during your lifetime?
Well, there's certain legal things I must be careful of. But in effect, basically, there is truth in everything I've said. Yeah, it's, pretty much, I'm sorry, I've totally forgotten the question. What was the question?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Desiree.
Well, I read that you've done stuff with David Letterman before, or you've been on his show, and he said some really great things about you. The first time you went on there, was it really intimidating to do it in front of, a live audience plus going out broadcast? Was it intimidating to do your act on there?
Yes, it was very, very scary. I didn't know that you could evacuate your intestines so many times in 1/2 hour period. Sadly, that was during my show. But it was very exciting. I had never been more nervous about anything in my entire life. But once you get out there, believe it or not, all you see is the 200 people in the audience. You don't really realize that you're on television. You just try to concentrate on the 200 people there. And it was very, very exciting, and I was able to, the next day I was walking down the street and people say, Emo, we saw you on Letterman, and I said, it's okay, it's really, it's really cool. People had never spoken to me before in that high of a voice. People were naming their cars, their license plates after me. They're naming their cats after me. It was the whole emo genre of music. I'm not saying it was named after me, but it was named chronologically after me. I think I had a nice influence on the zeitgeist. And I apologize for having dropped out of the scene so long, but I'm back on top of the horse now. Sarah.
I was going to ask if there was any specific regimen or routine that you had to prepare yourself for individual performances.
Well, you know what it's like? It's like running from a tiger. It's like your job is to go up to a tiger cage and open it and run for 45 minutes and then get the tiger back in the cage and shut the door. So it's really hard not to get in the mood. No matter what you're thinking, or even if you're sick, as soon as you hit that audience, the adrenaline just hits you, and you just, it's like you're running from the tiger for 45 minutes. One more question from Jeremy.
What's your favorite movie or show? What have you done that's been exciting? I mean, what's your favorite thing that you've done?
I would have to say UHF, because there is no excitement like going to the movie theater and seeing yourself on cellulite, and just my gosh, and hearing everyone in the audience, even though it's just you and your friend, break up laughing. It's just there was the biggest thrill of my life, seeing me on the silver screen.
This is where everybody goes, thank you, Emo.
Thank you, Emo.
And I think you have a lot more fans now.
I think I've doubled my demographic.
Come on, you've always been good in college crowds, haven't you?
Yeah, I think the college students are some of the smartest people in their generation.
Very good. I'd like to thank you very much. I don't know if I should feel enlightened or insulted by that, but I'd like to say thank you very much.
You're welcome.